Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're great. I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but real time, it is the beginning of a new year. It is the beginning of 2018. And today I just want to share with you what I'm kind of calling a word of encouragement. It's actually two kind of separate thoughts, but they're just kind of my current takeaways on how to really begin this new year well and how to think about things maybe with a new perspective or a slightly different perspective. So it's going to be short. There's going to be two main points, and here they are. The first one is this idea that I think a lot of times our culture and often our personalities or, jobs and the pace of the world, I know I definitely fall into this trap. We think that the fastest way to reach a goal is the best. I don't know about you. I don't know if there's any people who like to make New Year's resolutions or like to plan out different steps in their goals and check them off as they go. I know the way that I naturally view things is that way. The way I viewed my education, the way I view relationships, sometimes the way I view different advancement in my life, whether that's personally or professionally. I just want it all now. I want to reach all my goals as fast as I can, and I'm really not afraid of the hard work that it takes to get there. But, part of that is great, right? It's great to be able to make goals and to work towards them and to be diligent and to persevere. That's all great. Keep doing those things. But I think what God is really drawing me into is a season of recognizing that that's good, but that's not the whole story. That sometimes the journey He wants to take me on and you on isn't necessarily the fastest route. And if you're anything like me, that is just so frustrating because I'm I want to get there. I want to move on. I want breakthrough, et cetera, et cetera. And He's saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm taking you on the very best journey for you. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look linear or it's going to look efficient or it's going to look like how you want it to look sometimes. And I know for me, that's been a really hard lesson to learn. And I think I've gone through enough things in my journey with Him where I'm finally realizing, okay, the fastest way or the way that looks clearest to me isn't necessarily always the best way. And so at the beginning of this year, or again, whenever you listen to this, I just want to encourage you to kind of chew on that thought with Him, to open up a conversation with the Lord and to ask Him whatever's kind of the main things going on in your life, the unanswered questions or the pieces to the puzzle that look like they're not resolved currently. Just ask Him, say, God, you know that I'm willing to work on these. You know that I want to make these happen. I want to kind of force change in these areas. And maybe if it's not happening, just ask Him, what is the path that you have me on? Is the path that you're taking me on not as comfortable, as enjoyable as the one that I think I want, but is it really okay? Is it good? And I firmly believe that you're going to be comforted by Him and you're going to realize that He has your back, He's planning your steps, He's got it under control. It's just sometimes really hard to accept in the moment. So that's the first thought, is just to, even if it's just something as simple as in your mind's eye, loosening your grip of your hands of control in your life and saying, okay, God, what do you have? What is your timeline? What are your plans? I want to lay down my goals and my to-dos, and I just want to touch base with you first. I'm not saying you shouldn't have goals or to-dos. I love those things. You just need to run them by Him and make sure that you're not putting those things ahead of what He wants, because it's just not going to turn out well if you do that. I say that from experience. Okay. The second thought I've had recently is just the amazing benefit of being around people and ideas that are different from your own. So again, this is a completely different thought from my first thought. It's just another important thought that I have about this new year. So it's human tendency to surround ourselves with like-minded friends. We usually have friends that look like us and act like us, and we go to churches where the pastor says everything we agree with, and we listen to music that we like, and we read books and listen to podcasts that naturally support our feelings and our thoughts. And that's human tendency. That's fine. I'm not saying there's necessarily anything wrong with that. But I just know that there is such a great benefit by just being around people and ideas that are different from your natural bent. And I'm not even necessarily saying go search out the opposing viewpoint that you have. Go hang out with someone who has the opposite political views than you. Force yourself to be best friends with someone that you don't enjoy. I'm not saying those things. I'm just saying, what would it be like if we just started to open ourselves up a little more to kind of differing opinions? I don't know about you, but a couple of my closest friends, we have a lot in common, and then we have a lot of things not in common. Maybe the way they think or the way they approach things is like really different from me. And sometimes that's annoying, right? Because you just want someone to tell you, you're right, I completely agree, like we're on the same page. But I think that's all kind of immaturity. And the part that really matters is that what they bring to my life, what they bring to the table of conversations when I'm processing things with them, is this whole other perspective than I would ever naturally come to. You guys, we all think one way. And any of you who are listening, you have kind of a normal way of thinking, a normal way of doing things, a way that like seems best and seems right. And that's all fine and good. But to surround yourself, or to even just open yourself up a bit more, maybe we should say, to differing opinions can just be really powerful. So I think the way, and this is in little things and big things, right? Like, I don't know if anyone's ever been at your house for a dinner party and they're preparing their dish and they start chopping something a different way than you do, or you see someone clean something a new way. Like, even with little tiny things like that, it would have never occurred to me to do something like that because the way that I do it naturally just seemed right. You know what I mean? So this kind of runs the whole gamut of like how you clean your house to how you live your life. And it's just the idea that we really learn and grow by being exposed to and being around opinions and thoughts that aren't necessarily the ones that are natural to us. And again, it doesn't mean your thoughts are wrong or that you should stop reading the books or going to your church or listening to your podcast, anything like that. It just means I encourage you this year to really start opening yourself up to different opinions. Maybe just ask a friend to lunch who you know thinks about something different than you, and some maybe question or problem you've been going over and over in your head. Explore it with her and see what she has to say. Or listen to a podcast of someone that you know you respect and you trust, but that doesn't necessarily like always rub you the right way with everything they say. Little things like that. So I really encourage you to give it a try. I know that sometimes it feels less comfortable to be around different opinions or new ways of thinking, but I believe that that's really where our beliefs are forged and where the Lord can really transform us and develop us and grow us in new levels of maturity and thinking, as opposed to just kind of the ones that we've already mastered and that are already good in our lives. So this was longer than I planned for it to be. I hope it finds you well. If this was helpful, please share it with anyone who you think might enjoy it. Like, share, subscribe, leave any questions or comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And more than anything, I just hope that you start this year off well and enjoying your time with the Lord and really have a sense of hope and expectation about all that's in store for you this year. Have a great day. Bye.